Okay, guys, I'm back. So, had to blow my nose for a second, but yes, part of alchemizing, part of surrendering, part of shining, you will have to ground. You will have to be completely naked and truthful, as required, right? You will have to embrace, or even if you don't embrace, you will have to address those ethereal chords, right? Or etheric, I should say, chords. So this is what the ancestors are, or this talking drum ancestral spread is giving us, or giving you indication of, essentially. Excuse me. There's a bout of healing that needs to happen, which, these reads are always about healing. So we know that there's a bout of healing, but what they're specifically calling you and telling you that grief and rage are things that you need to manage right now. I'm not sure who this is for, but grief and rage and the act of surrendering. This is a big thing for you right now. In order for you to effectively alchemize shine, you will have to ground. You will have to address these things. Grief and rage is not something. I mean, you can kind of like decide that you don't really want to address it, but when you decide that you don't want to address things like this, life tends to get out of it. It gets a little haywire, right? Um, like I always say, the only things constant in this life is change and healing, right? We encounter traumas, we acquire traumas, we address traumas daily, or we're supposed to address them daily. Healing and healing is something that we'll have to do every day for the rest of our lives till we die, right? And even the traumas that we heal, sometimes they're not fully healed. Sometimes we've healed something like 85%, 90%, 95%, but we don't really realize that there's still an issue that's affecting us until we're faced with a situation that really brings that back up, right? Healing your childhood wounds. In many cases, most of us do go through the healing process and do those, but sometimes we do encounter things later. It's like, oh, whoa, I did heal this aspect of that childhood wound, but here, look, here's another one that I have to heal. We don't always know what our wounds and traumas are until we're actually faced with the point in which we have to heal them. So that's what you're being called to do. They want you to recognize that the goddess of grief is here to help you through this. When you effectively process your grief, when you effectively process, because with rage comes grief. There's a certain part of grief, like when something happens that upsets you, that has you in like a blind rage, even if it's not a blind rage, it's just any type of rage. There's grief behind that. There's grief that's hidden in that. The whole reason that you have the rage is because you are grieving something. No matter what the thing is, the whole point of you, like the path of you getting to the rage is by way of grief, right? But they don't want you to stop there, right? The goddess of grief doesn't want you to stop there. She wants you to continue processing. She wants you to shine a light on these issues that bring up the grief and the rage. She wants you to shine a light on this. She wants you to surrender to these issues that bring up the grief and the rage. They want you to surrender and alchemize these things. They want you to surrender, alchemize, and ground these things. Become truthful and naked with these things, with yourself, so that you can properly address it. Y'all, don't talk about my nails. I'm getting them done tomorrow. um, but they want you to be able to properly address these things. In order for you to properly address them, you do have to respect the steps, right? You do have to heal it. And I mean, you don't have to do it right now, but just keep in mind that anytime you don't heal the things right, you're not in any obligation to do anything right now, including heal. You're not in any obligation to do that. But just keep in mind that the longer it takes you to heal these things, the longer it takes you to be truthful with yourself, to surrender to the truth of yourself, to ground yourself and make sure you're being naked with these things in order to address it, alchemize, cut things off, whatever you need to do in order for you to progress, you have to do these things. You can take your time with it, but if you take too much time, then that puts you at a deficit, right? It kind of puts you at a point to where you might not be able to um, get to where you want within the time frame. You can probably still get there, but it's going to take you a little bit longer because you're not following the proper steps. Because if you don't handle the proper traumas, heal the proper traumas while you're going down your path, your contracted path, you as I tell y'all, most of us come here, especially if you're a part of the collective, you come here with a contract already. A decision you make, or anybody who's a part of your contracts, if at any point someone decides that they're not upholding, or they don't want to uphold their part or that step of the contract, then they might possibly void the contract. sometimes you're able to still have the same contract, but you can't take too long, right? It's like that move your feet, lose your seat thing. And I did mention that in the last read too. But it's like that whole thing with move your feet, lose your seat, right? Um, Essentially, it's something that needs to be done in order for you to get to where you need to go. In order for you to heal your generational um the generational aspects that need to be healed in order for those who come after you to start off at a more secure ground is what I'm hearing. Like a higher ground. You have to do the work. Someone has to start the process, right? Because it sets the tone, it sets the path for everybody who comes after you. Even though you all have different paths, well, you most of you might have different paths. Many of you will have different paths than the people who come after you, than even the people who came before you. Um, but it's like once you do what you need to do, then the people who come after you shouldn't have to repeat the same steps. They might have like their individual things within their individual lives that they have to complete that's similar to the task that you have to complete to heal, but they won't have to do it for the whole bloodline, right? Whoever starts it, who actually does completes the work for that bloodline, they set the tone. And for those who come after, they just build on top of that foundation, right? You're setting the foundation. So it's important for you to ground. It's important for you to be truthful and naked within everything. It's important for you to surrender to your highest good. One of the things that was coming up in the past, the reading that you can't really hear, is like the divine masculine and feminine energy. Many of us don't balance that. Many of us operate too much from one instead of the other. And honestly, if you're operating too much from your masculine energy, you could wind up in a blind rage or a bunch of grief, right? Because you're not handling the things that you need to handle. You're operating too much from one side. But we all have masculine and feminine energy, whether it's divine or not, because you have to go through the bouts of healing or certain bouts of healing in order for it to be divine energy. Many of us in the collective, we are already in that divine portion of the path, but some of us we haven't gotten there yet, and that's okay, right? But you still have that duality. You still have masculine and feminine energy, and it's important for you to not operate too much within one, right? The art of being naked, the art of being truthful, that's securely feminine, right? The ability to alchemize, that's securely feminine, right? The ability to surrender, that's securely feminine, right? and, and honestly, most of these things here seem like feminine energies, the things that need to be done. So what I would think is, especially going off of the previous read that you guys can't really hear right now, and again, I'm not sure if I'll upload it. I'll kind of have to listen to the full thing to see how much I can. Most of it, y'all, I could not hear, and it was upsetting me. I was so upset because it was a really good message, right? So that's what they're calling you to do. They're calling you to do the healing. They're calling you to make sure you're operating within that duality, so you're not putting yourself at a deficit. That came up in the previous reading. And this is putting yourself at a deficit, and they're stepping out, they're reaching out like, hey, reveal your truth so that you can shine a light on your truth. Basically, shine a light on your truth so that you can release this grief and this rage healthily, not in a toxic masculine or overtly masculine manner. Heal that trauma. Take the time to heal that trauma. So shine a light on your truth, right? You don't have to tell everybody your business. That's not what that means. To shine a light on your truth, it just means that make sure you're being truthful with yourself and the people that matter. If depending on what we're talking about, make sure you're being truthful with yourself and the people that matter. That's really all that matters. And the people that matter are basically the people that you are either contracting with or people that you plan to do life with. But you want to make sure that you're encouraging the people that you're contracting with or the people that you're choosing to do life with. Make sure you're encouraging them to heal also, because it puts you at a deficit if you're the only one healing, and that kind of puts you in an overly masculine or feminine, depending on the situation, energy as well. So it's not just you who has the capability to stunt your growth, it's also the people that you surround yourself with. So make sure you guys are being careful with that. All right. Now let's read what these ladies are talking about. Okay. Ancient Mother, Ancient Earth Mother, Allah is the foremost Igbo Alusi deity, right? Goddess Allah oversees motherhood, fertility, and the afterlife. After death, humans return to the womb of Allah, replanted in the soul to reincarnate. Give spirit your grief. Bawl it out, wail it out, cry it out. Sob, shriek, shred tears. Surrender it. You are holding unprocessed grief. You want to skip over it and get back to normal, but grief doesn't go away because you ignore it. The only way to healing is to walk through it. That's why you're sitting. That's why Shine came up. Shine a light on this rage or this grief is holding you back, right? Losing a loved one is the ultimate heartbreak, but you also experience grief after breakups, job loss, and disappointments. Self love and self care are required. Ask for support. Be gentle with yourself. Surrender. Alchemize. Ground. Be vulnerable. Be naked, right? Self love and self care are required. Grounding. Alchemizing. Surrendering. Managing your etheric cords. Deciding what needs to be cut and what needs to be cultivated, right? Self love and self care are required. Ask for support. Be gentle with yourself. The goddess declaration is I am supported by my loved ones, those who are seen and those who are unseen. Please keep in mind, like I said, your etheric cords is more than just it's like it's your spirit team, right? It's more than just those physical connections of those things, those soul ties, because that's essentially what the card speaks of, the soul ties. But it's more than just those soul ties, like more than just the ones that we're talking about romantically. Etheric cords is also like your ancestral, your children, the people, the generations that came before you and after you, essentially. Make sure you're cultivating that space, right? That you are supported by these people. That's why they're encouraging you to be vulnerable, to tell your truth, to step into your truth, to step out of this blind rage, to address this grief and this blind rage. Shine a light on it, because it's like I hate this saying. I tell y'all this all the time. It's like I don't know if I'm talking to the same person every time I upload this, but it's like that saying about licking your wounds. I told y'all I think that saying is gross. But the reason I think this saying is gross is because basically it to me it just talks about letting infections fester. Like lick, I'll tell the story again. My mama cat, she got lost. And when I got her back, she had a hole in her side. I mean, a really big hole. Like it's about if you a smoker, you know how they have the little cup ashtrays? Matter of fact, the hole in her side was about as big as this cup ashtray top. And I'm not even kidding, right? Not this little hole. It wasn't that small. It was about as big as this room right here, the hole in my baby's side when I got her back. And I did have some medication and stuff like that. And she would at first the first few days she was so spent, she was so whatever, she just couldn't, she just let me hold her. And honestly, since she's become an adult, that was one of the few times she really let me hold her. Like ever since she became an adult, she's like, girl, time for all that holding shit was when I was a kid. And I respect it. I leave her alone. Um, and then after she had kids, she really didn't let me hold her. But when I found her before she had the kids, that was the only time she really, and I was able to actually hold her. And it made me cry because I knew that before then she wasn't really like that. So it really just stressed how hurt she was when I got her back. And she ran off. I didn't put her out. She ran off. But when she ran out the door, they was doing construction in that area, and I think it scared her into running a little bit further than she probably anticipated running, because it was like those big construction vehicles, and there was a lot of noise and stuff like that. The gravel was all fucked up. It wasn't really nowhere for her to hide or anything. So I think it just caused her to go a little bit further. And maybe she even got stuck under maybe she jumped under somebody's carriage of their vehicle, and then when they stopped and she hopped out, she was further away. She was still within the 5 mile radius that they say cats usually travel. She was still within the 5 miles. However, sis was like somewhere that you would not expect her to have been, considering where she got lost at, right? Why am I bringing this up? Yeah, the wound thing. So yeah, so she had that big ass gap in her side, and I put the medicine on it or whatever. I would cradle her. So for the first few days, I was able to help her not mess up the wound. As she got better, as she became more comfortable with being home, being supported, being taken care of, she would lick the wound. All that did was open it back up. So all the work that I did to help her close that wound, licking the wound, essentially separated the skin, the healed skin. It bust the healed skin open, it tore it apart, and it opened the wound even more. I had to cone her ass. I had to cone her ass. And that's when she stopped. And I felt so bad putting the cone on her. But other than that, her sis was gonna keep licking. All right. Don't do that licking wound shit. Actually heal the trauma. Because all licking your wounds does, it's like a band-aid. It's not an actual healing mechanism. Don't band-aid yourself. Don't band-aid your trauma, because all it does, it turns into grief and blind rage. You need to actually shine a light on it. You need to actually address what's going on. You need to actually heal that. Heal it for yourself. Heal it for your kids. Heal it for the people that you encounter in the street, that, so you just don't be going off of, which, road rage, whatever, whatever. Everybody has their little bouts and nobody's perfect. And I'm not trying to say you should be perfect. That's impossible. But the more you heal your traumas, the less likely you are to bleed over people who did not cut you. The less likely you are to allow people. Now, some people will still get under your skin, right? Because, like I said, we're not perfect. But you're less likely to just keep exploding. You're more likely to stop and think when somebody's saying or doing something and be like, you know what? They're operating outside of their trauma. Let me not play into it. Or let me help them heal by not playing into it. Even when you don't play into something, sometimes it shows people how stupid they are. It shows people how crazy they are. Because they be feeling stupid when you don't really respond to them. So shine a light on your traumas, your wounds, the things that you need to heal, because you're being called to tell this, called to live within your truth. You're being called to surrender to this rage and to this grief. You're being called to address it and ground, right? You're being called to strip yourself naked and handle the connections that you need to handle. Cut what needs to be cut, cultivate what needs to be cultivated. Alchemize what you need to alchemize so that you can shine and so that you come out better. I don't want to say smelling like roses, but that's what I heard. So you can come out smelling like roses. But you ain't perfect, right? And like Outkast said, roses still smell like boo boo boo. All right, but still, you still gotta heal. All right. Okay, that's number 32. Mama Jumbo. Goddess Mama Jumbo glitters as guardian of the lush green forest of Guinea-Bissau. If her name sounds familiar, it's because Mama Jumbo's name was misconstrued by colonizers and replaced with the term mumbo jumbo, meaning gibberish. Still, she shines, right? So, in the midst of all the bullshit, in the midst of all of the things that you need to heal, you still have the capability to shine. I'm here to shine bright like a diamond. You were born to shine. Be seen, be heard, be a movement. We need to know your name. We want to learn your dance. Daring to rise and shine starts with the courage to be seen and heard. Your story matters and someone needs to hear it. Fear of shining brightly keeps you in the shadows, hiding and shrinking in that blind rage and that grief, baby, is fucking you up right now. There is no way to claim your voice and avoid rejection, criticism, and judgment. But you are not for everybody. If everyone likes you, you are not really being you. And that's why they call you to be within your truth, to be naked and be within your truth. You spend a lot of your time, what I'm getting is you spend a lot of your time playing yourself small so that others can feel comfortable. And they're saying, stop it. That's partially what's leading to the blind rage and to the grief, because when you play yourself small, you're not operating within your full self. You're not operating within your healed self. You're not operating within your true self. They want you to operate within your true self, because whatever they gave you, whatever you came here with, whether it be contracted, whether it be bloodline based, or all of the above, the world needs it. So they need you to do right. Because, like I said before, you set the tone for those who come behind you, and you actually set the tone for those who came before you, because as we well know, as the collective, many of the people who came within the generations before us, they didn't do anything. They did not do what they were supposed to do. Most of them were more focused on the actual worldly aspects, like getting a job, maintaining a family, getting an expensive house, rather than taking care of the things that matter. Like, what does your heart space look like? What does your mental and your spiritual and your physical space look like? Or they'll deal with the physical space. They'll make sure their physical body is right. But what is your spirit man like? And just because you go to church, and I'm not down in the church, y'all, just because you go to church, it doesn't mean your spirit man is right. You still have to heal, right? Because many times within church, it's like a blank, like a band-aid. I was about to say blanket, but it's more like a band-aid. They just, you slap on a scripture and you think it's healed. No, that's not how that goes. That's the thought that that's how it works is just because most of the people who get on the pulpit are just regurgitating things that they hear other people saying, and they're not actually comprehending what's being said or formulating their own thought. But God didn't bring us here to be stupid. God didn't bring us here to just regurgitate the things that other people are telling us is the law, right? You still have to do your research, right? That's why they say, even though the Bible is the Bible, like I say every time, it's a great story. I'm not saying I don't believe in it. I believe some of it, but only because I am smart enough to know that historically kings were able to decide what went into books, and the Bible was no different. The Bible was a book. It's a holy book, yeah, but it's still a book. The kings were able to change what they wanted to put in these books. So if they wanted to condemn sexuality because they wanted to condemn themselves because they felt like they was, because a lot of times that's what would happen. Based off of their traumas, they would dictate what went in there and what didn't go in there. So if they had a sexual based trauma, or like let's say if they were gay, they would condemn being gay and have it put in the Holy Bible, while in the background, in privacy, they are gay. They're living a gay life. But for the public, for the constituents, for the rest of the kingdom, you can't be gay. Meanwhile, they be in the back of house doing whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just using gay as an example. I'm not condemning nobody in the LGBT plus community. So I was about to try and say all the letters, but then I giggled because I was like, I know I don't know all the letters, but much respect to y'all. I don't like how they use them as scapegoats, but I was just using that as an example. That's one of the, because that's really one of the major things. I'm not saying Sodom and Gomorrah wasn't really a thing that was asked to be put in the Bible by God. I'm just saying that historically kings were known to explore their sexuality, and for things that were considered beneath the kingdom, they would condemn widespread but still practice the condemnation, the thing that was being condemned in private. I don't get down with that. And that's why they would villainize it, right? So like if the king felt bad about being gay, he would villainize it in the Bible if he had access to change it, or if he had a thought to change it. They literally could change whatever they wanted, guys. They literally had scribes in the towers, like religious priests in the towers, rewriting, re-putting, deciding what went in, deciding what came out. So y'all don't be blinded. I'm not saying anything against the Bible. Just do your research, because there are books that aren't even in the Bible that should be. And that just further proves my point that they were able to put in and take out what they wanted. So please, I don't mean any disrespect by that. I'm just here to educate you guys, right? I just want you guys to, there are a lot of things that they're keeping from us. And as spiritualists, we should know that by now. But I think oftentimes we forget, right? So, yes, if I didn't say it, the goddess declaration for Mama Jumbo is I am ready to be seen and heard. All right? Let's go to Medusa. Medusa is feared as an ugly, vicious monster bitch. The truth, this Libyan Berber, dark goddess of wisdom's rage, is sacred, epic, and fully justified. Medusa's shadow guidance. You are pissed off and petrified, angry and shaking. But underneath that, you are hurt and heartbroken. Feeling undervalued is overwhelming. You can't stay silent anymore. Let your joys, hopes, and beauty rage on. Take a breath. Close your eyes and put both hands over your lower abdomen. Tune into the part of you that feels out of control, flooded with loving, healing, golden light. Now, put both hands over your heart and do the same. You have a right to your full range of emotions, including anger. Sacred rage inspires us to run for office, lead protests, and shift policies. But unhealthy rage can devour your very soul. Get clear on what is really happening. Allow yourself to feel your feelings, to see the truth. Just because you feel threatened doesn't mean you are being threatened. Goddess declaration, I have a right to feel my feelings. Now, this is talking about blind rage, right? Now, Medusa's story, I don't know how much of the story you guys know, and I'm not gonna bore you with it because I feel like I already probably tapped y'all out with the Bible information. And I don't mean no disrespect by that, but Medusa's story is essentially Medusa was raped by one of the gods, right? The domestic partner of said god decided that she wanted to punish Medusa because her man couldn't keep his eyes and his hands to himself. This girl was raped and then she was punished. And which is why it turned into blind rage. So I don't know if that's kind of, I mean, not saying it has to be the grape word, but she was raped and then it turned into blind rage because she was punished for something she didn't even do. She was minding her business. She wasn't trying to seduce the man or nothing. She was minding her. I just heard she was minding her black ass business. Literally. That's what I just heard. She was minding her black ass business. Some man came along and decided he wanted to overstep her boundaries and his boundaries with his domestic partner. And you know what his domestic partner did? The same thing a lot of these females are doing right now. Is taking it out on the woman. So I don't know if that's what happened. I don't know if that's why you feel rage. I don't know if that's why you feel grief. But they're telling you to it's time for you. You're being called to let that go. You're being called to shine a golden light, flood the rage with a golden light, a loving, healing golden light. Surrender and alchemize. Right? Both of these are golden. Yeah. Surrender and alchemize. All right. Oop, wrong spot. Slide over. Okay. So, Queen Nefertiti. Nefertiti was a legendary Egyptian queen whose name means a beauty has come. Celebrated as a goddess and her husband's equal, Queen Nefertiti led a spiritual revolution worshiping Aten, the sun god. It is time. The sun god, shine. It is time. You turn everything that life throws your way into gold. They say shine a golden light. You are on a path to fulfilling your purpose. So you are already on the path. They just don't want you to get stuck in the blind rage of the grief. I don't know what happened recently, but it's almost like they're saying something happened recently that's it's kind of got you stuck. Like you're already on the path, but and in sacred lust is under truth, and that's I'm not gonna lie, it's not giving me the best feeling. I don't know if anything specific happened, and if anything happened, my heart goes out to you, and I hope I'm gonna send you, loving and healing light and energy. Because now that we're talking about it, I can't tell if something sexual happened. I almost want to ask a question, but like I don't want to get caught up in that in the reading. Only because I want to respect what it is that you're going through, right? So I'm not gonna delve too much into it. I'm gonna respect that, but I will attest to the fact that sacred lust is under truth. So while we're talking about grief and blind rage and shining the light, I don't know if you have to expose somebody for something that they've done to you that they should not have done sexually. And then you have to like kind of love yourself in the midst of it, but you have everything you need. in order to make it through this, in order for you to heal properly, right? And you don't need the permission of anybody else to heal, right? You don't need the permission of anybody else to shine a light or surrender or ground or anything like that. I just want you to know, whoever you are, if that is what's going on, you are loved. You are respected. Take your time. And I'm about to cry right now, so I don't know if this is real or not. But take your time. Feel your feelings. You are entitled to feel how you feel. Talk to someone if you can, if you feel like, there's always someone to talk to. And I know that's easier said than done, but I just don't want you to go. If this is what it's starting to feel like, there is someone for you to talk to. Um, Shit, if you just want somebody to hear you out, talk to me, and I'll listen, and I'll send you words of encouragement when you're done. You know, um, just know that there are spaces, there are safe spaces. If you can, there's like, in my area we can call 211. I think the other number is 611 as well. Where you can just kind of talk to someone, not like a, it's not necessarily a suicide line, or it's not necessarily. Oh, I already said it, but it's not necessarily that type of line. But it's one of those lines where if you just need to talk about something, whatever it is, you can just call them and talk. They're open 24/7, right? Start there if you're not really sure where to start. If you don't want to talk to anybody, write it down, baby, because this grief and this blind rage is not serving you. It's not serving you, and what it's doing is, and I think that's why they're calling you to be naked and truthful. And these cords, that, because that might be the connection. I don't know if you're related or connected to the person who did it, like if it's like a somebody that's related to your friend or anything like that. But I just know it's hurting my feelings right now. This energy is hurting my feelings. But it's hurting my feelings because it's like, I feel that you feel you have nowhere to turn. And that is a helpless feeling. I know what that feels like. So, whoever this is for, it may be hard, but it is time for you to alchemize. You will feel better afterwards. Take your time. Make sure you create the safe space for yourself. Make sure you set your boundaries, and make sure you make people uphold your boundaries, right? This is breaking my heart. This is really breaking my heart. It is time. You turn everything that life throws your way into gold. You are on the path to fulfilling your purpose. So don't let someone else's missteps hold you back. It might pause you for a second, but know your purpose is greater than anything anybody could have done to you. You are an alchemist. You have the power to bend universal energy. Dare to transmute lead into gold by shifting from fear to love. Because that's all that grief and that rage is. That's fear. That's the manifestation of fear. Everything you desire exists in some form of loving energy. Match this frequency. See it in your mind's eye first. Imagine it. I am loved fully, and you are loved fully. What does it look, taste, and smell like to be loved unconditionally? I am happy and healthy. See it. I am a money magnet. What does being a money magnet feel like? Goddess declaration, everything I touch turns to gold. And you have that golden touch. You have the Midas touch. That's why they're calling you to surrender. That's why they're calling you to surrender and ground yourself, because you have the capability to alchemize whatever the situation is. You have the ability to alchemize it for the better. Like, again, not just for you, but for the people who come after you, the generations that come after you, as well as for the generations that came before you that never got to heal. Because as we well know, a lot of the generations that came before us, they didn't handle nothing. Like I was saying before, they didn't really heal those traumas. They swept it under the rug. They went to church and swept it under the rug, and they act like it didn't happen. Acting like something didn't happen doesn't heal it. All it does is it covers it up, it festers it, it turns into a wound. One of the wounds that you wind up, it's like licking your wounds. That's essentially what you're doing when you do that. You're licking your wounds instead of actually healing it. Please don't do yourself that disservice. Your ancestors are begging you. Please don't do yourself that disservice of covering it up. Alchemize that energy. Surrender and alchemize. All right. Whew. It's not heavy energy, y'all, but it's, I ain't gonna lie, that was for somebody, and it was breaking my heart because it's so many times that's been a thing since the beginning of time. I know, I'm sure. Like I said, it happened to Medusa, but it's something about it just now when it came up in the reading. I don't know who that was for, but baby, if you ain't heard it today, I love you. If you ain't heard it today, I love you. I have faith that you'll be able to surrender. I have faith that you'll be able to alchemize this energy, and I have faith that you'll be able to come out on the other side. And I hope that when you come out on the other side healed from that trauma, you're able to help others heal from it, not just for your bloodline or for your families, but like any friends that you come across, even strangers. Because a lot of times the healing that we do is not for our people that we know, it's oftentimes for strangers, right? I can't tell you how many times I go in a place and I just come across people and we just have a conversation and it turns into like, I really need to hear that, whether it be me saying it or them saying it, right? And oftentimes it's an equal exchange. When you heal that, sometimes it happens like that. You're healing something that somebody else needs to heal as well. So once you heal it, you can give them the tools in order for them to heal it, and vice versa. It usually turns into a meeting of the minds, and so then both parties leave that area, wherever area they met in, a newer healed version of themselves, and then they're able to go forth and do a little bit better and move towards the next step of healing and move towards the next one and then the next one, right? Goddess of spiritual surrender. Goddess Set is revered as a magical healer and sorceress. While I'm talking about healing, she of 10,000 names, you may know her as Isis. Her Greek name are Aset, Aset, or Waset. Aset was worshipped in ancient Nubia, the Sudan region, Egypt, and beyond. Let it all go. Say aloud now, I surrender. These words cast a spell. Breathe them in. Disregard my stuffy nose. Release control. Stop binding around struggle. Hand the keys to the divine. Allow spirit to carry you and fill in the gaps. You don't have to figure it all out. God, Goddess has your back. Have faith in where you are at this moment. Goddess declaration. Everything I need to know finds me at the perfect time. And I hope this message finds you when you need it, babe. All right. We have Sachi with grounding. Right. Number 3. Goddess of grounding. You may know great ancestress Sachi as Sarji or Sarah Bartman, the woman forced to perform as the Hottentot Venus in 19th century London. If you've never seen that, if you've never heard of her, go look her up. And in many ways, if you read her story, it's going to give you the feel of Medusa. Sis right here with the rage. I'm just saying. But before that, she was Sachi, a Kokoan girl in South Africa who deserved better. Protect your magic. Your heart is your own, your body is your own, your mind is your own. It's giving Medusa, I'm telling you. Your truth and story are your own. Be rooted in your truth. Create healthy boundaries, uphold them, stick to them. That's going to be important to you grounding into you surrendering and healing, right? Properly. Because people will overstep your boundaries, sometimes on purpose, sometimes not on purpose, but just create your boundaries and hold them to give yourself space to heal properly. Your energy is unsteady. Breathe, come into the present, say out loud, I am here. Trauma, stress, overwhelm, anxiety, and fear disconnect you from your body. Grounding keeps you present. When you feel rootless or unsettled, come back to your breath. Meditation and breath work are grounding. Try earthing, connecting your feet to soil. Free writing, Clapping, stomping, and rubbing your hands together are all grounding. And as I stated, if you don't want to talk to anybody, you can journal about it. Let that be the first step to you getting everything out. And you're gonna have feelings about it. Allow yourself to stay and feel those feelings. Don't get stuck on them. But if you haven't felt the feelings, that turns into grief and a blind rage, right? It creates that unhealthy environment for those things to fester. Not saying you caused the environment for the things to fester, but not handling the trauma that caused the initial grief or rage causes the grief and rage to grow and to commingle. And at that point, it becomes harder to heal. So please be careful, guys. Goddess declaration is I am firmly planted and deeply rooted. All right. All right. So let's go to Urzuli Dantor, the goddess of etheric chords. Urzuli Dantor fought elbow to elbow with her people during the Haitian Revolution to protect mothers and children. She represents the healing of the Dark Mother. See, y'all, all of this is about healing. Which this is this deck is about like goddess healing. Healing the divine feminine. It's the African goddess rising, so a lot of it is about healing. But almost every card is about healing. So, see, he just sneezed, and that must be the truth. But I don't like how his snot just went everywhere. I'm about to put him out. I'm about to put. I'm about to put him out. She represents the healing of the Dark Mother, and honestly, um, in some cases, Medusa is considered one of the Dark Mothers. Not the Dark Mother, but a darker mother. Just look into that. If it isn't wholehearted love, release it. Remember your worth. So anything that's not rooted in love, cut it out. I just heard strip that down. I don't know if y'all know that song, and it's not fully related, but the guy Liam Payne, rest in peace, have a song. What I think it's Offset. It might not be Offset. It's one of the Migos. Rest in peace to the Migo too. To Take Off. Rest in peace to Take Off. But strip that down. It's by Liam Payne, who is also no longer with us. But that's what I heard when it says remember your worth. Release it and remember your worth. I heard strip that down. The energy cords binding you and someone you no longer wish to be attached to are strong. Strip that down. You must be willing to let go. Strip that down. Close your eyes. See divine swords of God, goddesses, loving light, separating you and dissolving the cords between you. You are both whole and healed. Just as you shower to cleanse physical grime, there is also grime in the form of energy cords, also called karmic ribbons, emotional cords, or etheric cords. Spiritual maintenance is required. Goddess declaration, I am worthy, compassionate, and whole. And honestly, that goddess declaration is something that Medusa had to come to terms with. After her incident, she had to come to terms with the fact that she was still worthy, that she can still be compassionate, and that she can still be whole. Because, like I said, within that storyline, the divine counterpart for that god who raped Medusa, she took it out on Medusa. Instead of like how now we tell the women, if a man is stepping out on you, that's the man and it's not the woman. That shit is old as time. Women have been doing other women a disservice because their man could keep it in their pants. And rather than them healing those traumas, rather than them healing the traumas that allows them to accept that struggle love from that man that did the thing against them with that other woman, you know, they just, oh, let me blame the woman. Like, no, guys, and we got to get better with that. And I know I mentioned that before, and we are getting better with it, right? We're able to call it out a little bit better now. But Medusa essentially had to recome to terms with, she had to find ways to heal her trauma. And Medusa went around fucking people up before she healed her trauma. She completely went around. It's like, that's the thing about trauma. When we don't heal, we pass it on, right? Whether we pass it on to our children because we haven't healed it, so we inflict trauma on them because we're operating based off of our trauma. Whether we inflict the trauma on others because we're not healing it. So when other people come towards us, we're like, no, because I remember when such and such did me this, so I'm gonna do this. It's like, I'm gonna get you, sucker. I'm gonna get you before you get me. Essentially, that's what Medusa was doing. People were, which don't get me wrong, they were hunting her. They were hunting her, so she had a right to say, I'm gonna get you before you get me. But at a certain point, partially the reason why they were hunting her is because she was going around turning people into stone, because she was hurt, because she allowed her trauma to fester, because she licked her wounds and let that infection fester. It turned into the blind rage and grief. It was a complete complement of blind rage and grief. Sis was hurt, and I completely understand. But then she inflicted that hurt on other people. And then it caused more people to come looking for her. And so then she inflicted that hurt on more people. It's like a never ending cycle. Guys, we have to stop. We have to break these cycles. This is important. That's why they're calling us for this. That's why they're calling us to live within our truth. That's why they're calling us to be naked. That's why they're calling us to break these cords, right? Mami Wata, when naked. Goddess of emotional nakedness. See, everything is literally coming together. Even though it's saying naked is emotional nakedness, it's literally the embodiment of surrendering, grounding, being naked, being truthful with yourself, right? Shining a light within yourself, shining a light on the things that you know are hurting, so that you can figure out the best way to heal for yourself, so that you don't pass those traumas on to whether it be your kids or your family members or the people on the street or what have you, right? Mommy Watson and her sisters live in the Ikpoba. Oh my god, here go my nose. Ikpoba River in Benin City, Nigeria. But the ancient mermaid goddess is her own global pantheon. Mami Wata influences emotions and gifts her followers with clairvoyance and healing powers. Hide no more. The emotional nakedness you avoid is your superpower, not your shame. Right? I'm going to say that again. The emotional nakedness you avoid is your superpower, not your shame. So they're saying whatever they're calling you to tell the truth about, whatever they're calling you to be naked about, there's strength in that. There's power in that. It's easier said than done, but they're essentially calling you to not be ashamed of it, right? They're calling you to take hold of your power, right? To wield your power so that nobody else wield your power for yourself so that nobody else can wield it against you is what I'm hearing. That's exactly what I heard. Being emotionally naked means being vulnerable enough for the real you to shine through. Vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Practice saying or practice being. I'm reading too fast. Practice being transparent. Start with the people closest to you. Say, I haven't been showing the whole me, but I am starting today. Have the courage to feel and express your feelings without people pleasing. Right? Shine a light on yourself. Be truthful to yourself. Surrender to yourself, ground yourself, and be naked, right? Alchemize that energy so that you can be your best and your most full self. Speak your truth. Share your story. Cultivate an appreciation for vulnerability in others, the healing in others. Become comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and making others uncomfortable. Goddess declaration, I have the courage to be vulnerable, right? Ooh, all right, so let's get the, and that's what truth and sacred lust at the bottom, and then betrayal. Yeah, y'all, I don't know exactly what happened, y'all, but the energy at the bottom I have is truth, sacred lust, and betrayal, and that's I'm, as the ambulance rolled past, flashing lights, fire truck, flashing lights. And I was just about to say, I don't know exactly how the hurt happened while these two entities that specifically deal with the hurt of people rolled past, making all that noise, flashing all them lights, shining their light, right? This truth, the sacred lessons betrayal, this is given that somebody betrayed you physically. And I am so sorry that that happened to you. I am so sorry that you had to go through that. My heart goes out to you, to whoever that's for. I'm sorry that the people that you trusted couldn't be trusted. I'm so sorry. But what I will say is, your team got your back. Because miracles is under that. It went from truth to sacred love. Hold up. Let me hold it the right way so you can see it. This is the deck, yeah? I'm sorry, y'all. So that's why my nose running. And it's so crazy because my nose was running before I started crying. But it goes from truth to sacred lust. Oh, shit. True. It goes from truth to sacred lust to betrayal. About to drop everything. To miracles. To speak up. To intuition. Your spirit team got you, baby. As hard as this is for you, whatever this is, whatever you have to face, as hard as it is for you, they're calling you to face it because they need you to inspire others, is what I'm getting. They have something planned for you and they need you to walk within your path. To feeling safe, y'all. They got you. Whoever this is for, they got you. They just need you to they just need you to keep going. To seasons. It's the season for you to heal. It's the season for you to keep going. They got you, y'all. They got you. What's this? Liberation. It's the season for you to free yourself from all whatever this is. And you know what's so crazy? I really wish that first reading had better sound. In the first reading, the energy of the first reading, because self-sabotage was in this position. What was here? Betrayal. The betrayal I just showed you, betrayal was in this position. I forgot what was here. And I forgot what was here. But the energy altogether, I remember saying in the reading, I said, this energy is crazy because lately the energy has been kind of light. Like it's been teaching, but it's been light energy. But today, the first reading, I specifically said, this energy is crazy because today it feels murky. It feels muddled. And I specifically say, like, you know how it feels murky like Mississippi water, like the Mississippi River? Not Mississippi the state, but the Mississippi River water. I don't know where y'all at. I don't know what it look like by y'all, but by me, it look nasty, right? It's not some shit you want to go diving in, right? People do what they want, but the Mississippi River where I'm from ain't some shit you want to go diving in, right? But it was given murky, muddled waters. And I specifically said it's like swamp water, like, or like how you muddle a fruit in a drink. Like, I don't know how many bartenders are going to see this, but I think it's called muddling, where like essentially the fruit is at the bottom of the drink, but you put the fruit in the glass. And then you have to squash it with like a tool, an apparatus, and then you put the drink in there. So at the bottom you have muddled, squashed fruit at the bottom. But it's like it makes the drink look murky, right? That's what that's what that energy was giving me earlier, just for this to come out. So maybe it's a good thing that it didn't the sound wasn't too good, because essentially I feel like I got a little bit more energy of exactly what they were trying to say. So I don't know who this is for, honey. I don't know exactly what you went through. I just know what I feel. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But it's really giving grape. I really hope I'm wrong. But if this is whoever this is meant for, even if it's not grape, whoever this is meant for, whatever you've gone through, they got you and they saying it's time for you to let that shit go. But they like Let it go healthily. They want you to address it. They want you to heal it and then let it go. Because what that does is it puts you in a position to be able to tell your story. It puts you in a position later to be able to encourage others to make it through. Because not trying to take away from your trauma, but y'all, we here to do community with others, with everybody, with each other, basically. You choose who you do community with, but we're here to do community with each other. So when you heal it, there's going to be somebody that you're going to come across who has that same trauma. And you know what's going to happen? Once you fully heal, even if you're not fully healed, once you get to a good, safe spot of healing, you'll be able to help someone else on their healing journey. You'll be able to help them start. And like I said, healing is something that we do for the rest of our lives. It's something that never ends until the day we die. That's the day you die, that's the day you stop healing. Okay? And honestly, I have my thoughts about that because if we're talking about ancestors and stuff like that, I do believe that when you first cross over, there's a little bit of healing you got to do first to determine what type of ancestor you'll be. But that's my thoughts on it. I can't speak for nobody else's beliefs. So basically, the first few months after you pass is that's you're gonna be healing pretty much until then, right? Go ahead and liberate yourself, honey. It's time for you to stop holding on to that thing that's whatever this thing is that's got you feeling heavy, that's got you feeling like you can't trust nobody. Whoever betrayed your trust, they gonna get theirs. Don't get caught up in them getting theirs. Work on healing yourself. Work on liberating yourself. Because guess what? As long as they have you bogged down, they win. And you've already been through enough. Right? They've already put you through enough. Don't let them win, honey. And you don't heal so that they don't win. You heal for yourself. But just keep that in mind. Yep, liberate that shame, boy. They is not playing. Something happened, and it's giving sexual energy, y'all, and it's breaking my heart. Harvest and fearless love, giving and receiving, storms, radical rebirth, wounded healer, desire, good juju. It's coming, manifestation, yo, soul forgiveness, baby. Again, if nobody told you today, I love you. I love you. I love you, and I hope whatever part of your healing journey you need help with, may your spirit team guide you to the best possible way for you to overcome it. The best possible way for you to heal that. Y'all got me crying up in here. Y'all got me crying up in here. And I'm not saying that to make nobody feel bad. I'm saying that to say, I really wish I could give you a big hug right now, whoever this is for. I am not even kidding. Because whatever it was, you didn't deserve it. Whatever happened, however it happened, you didn't deserve it. And I don't know if you blame yourself for it, because that's kind of what it's given. You blaming somebody else, but you blaming yourself for it, and they want you to let it go. They want you to let that shame go because it's not yours to hold. They want you to be truthful and be naked, reveal it, because it's not yours to hold. It's not yours to hold. It's not. It's not. It's just not. Alchemize it. Shine a light on them. Expose their ass. Whoever did it, expose their ass. Whew. God, higher source, light, higher self, angels, ancestors, spirit guides, guides and goddesses of bloodline. Please give me 2 keys from the Shadowscape to help close out this ancestral drum reading. Because, baby, this ancestral talking drum, the ancestors came through talking today. I hope this makes sense. I'm not even trying to laugh, honestly. Like, I feel like so many messages came out, or the messages came out a certain type of way that it went down a path that I didn't expect it to go. But like I said, when I did that first reading, I said, I don't know what this is yet. And it was, like I said, it was self-sabotage here, and betrayal was here. And I remember saying, I don't know what this is, but I'm not going to lie to y'all. It feels murky. It feels muddy. It feels wrong. I specifically said that. And that's when I went into talking about, like, because I couldn't explain, because when I said muddled, I said muddled, murky and muddled and wrong. And then when I said muddled, I was like, I couldn't, because, not everybody know what that is, right? And so I was like, nah, I had to explain it. Most people have ordered a drink, and if they haven't ordered a drink like the one I was talking about, they've seen one where they squished the fruit at the bottom and stuff like that. So, just to kind of, the reading felt like that, and maybe that's why the sound didn't come out. Maybe I didn't hit the truth of the messages well enough. Maybe that's why the sound was a little wonky. Hopefully the sound is good. If the sound is good in this one, I'm gonna know something. Y'all gonna see it, y'all gonna know. But if the sound is good in this one, I'm gonna know something. God, higher source of life, please give me 2 keys to close out the talking drum ancestor reading. God, higher source of life, higher self, angels, ancestors, spirit guides. Grab me 2 keys from the shadow states to close out the talking drum ancestor reading. Oh, baby. Just for this to come out after I done smashed my finger in the door, too. I sure smashed my finger in the door early. That was crazy. The 4 of Swords and the 6 of Wands. Baby, you will be victorious. Do you hear me? You will be victorious. You will come into a place of peace and rest. Victory and rest. Victory and peace. You got this. It will happen. Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. The 4 of Swords came out. That's peace. That came out first. Manifestation. I'm sorry. Manifestation is not the word that I want to use, but you know what? It came out. That was not the word I was trying to use, but it came out. Meditation is what I was trying to say. But manifestation came out. So you manifestation, meditation, and victory. The 6 of Wands. Baby. I know it's hard. I know it don't feel good. I know from how I'm feeling, you probably feel like shit, and you should not. You should not. Do you hear me? Your spirit team got you. In times when you want to cry, they're counting your tears, baby. They're ready to bring you to that point of peace. But you do have to heal to get there. You have to do certain points of work to be able to get to that peace, to be able to get to this victory. But they got you. They got you. Baby. I don't know who this is for, but y'all is breaking my heart. Y'all not breaking my heart, but this is I could just see. I don't want to say I could just see magic, because I don't want to disrespect the situation. I don't want to make it seem like I'm downplaying nothing like that. I don't even know what to really say other than my heart goes out, and I wish I could give you the biggest hug. I wish I could just hold you and let you know everything gonna be okay. Not even on no crazy stuff or whatever. Like, I mean, like, we human at the end of the day. And baby, whatever this is, whatever you went through, this shit was not right. And I'm sorry that it happened. It was not right. Whatever this is, whatever they telling you to heal from, because they're not really giving me full, like, they're not giving me the full message, but whatever they calling you to heal from, whatever wrong was done to you, it was not right. Obviously it was a wrong, but it was like not right on multiple levels. And I'm so sorry that happened to you. Please give me 2 more. God, higher source of light, higher self, angels, ancestors, spirit guides. Please give me 2 keys to close out this reading from the divination of the ancients. One more, please. At the bottom of the deck, we have interpretation, palmistry with interpretation. But the 2 keys that we have to close out the talking drum ancestor from the divination of the ancients oracle, we have geomancy, which is patience. And we have clouds for mystical. I'm getting that there's a special place. I just heard that's a special place in heaven. Not like in encouraging you to like do one thing or the other, but they're saying have patience to elevate. But just know that while you are patiently healing and elevating, your spirit team is creating space for you. Not necessarily how they say creating the space in heaven, not like that. A space is being created for you to operate and live within your truth. And I just can't help but shake. I can't shake the feeling that once you come out on the other side of your healing, this is representative of these clouds, these mystical clouds. This is representative of you being able to help someone else during healing, through healing. Take time, take patience. Don't rush your healing. And when you come out, when it's done, you're going to look around. I'm hearing you're going to look around in amazement of all the people that you've helped, is what I specifically heard. And I don't know why that's making me choke up. But they say you're going to look around in amazement at all the people that you've helped by being patient with yourself, doing your spiritual work, taking time for yourself, healing yourself. Oh, baby. Let me get you the messages for these cards. Cause I don't wanna be too much on the same. Like I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring y'all. So I don't want to hold it too long. So I'm about to respectfully allow you guys to, sit within your energy. Okay, geomancy and patience. Yes, you have an important life purpose. Yes, you are naturally gifted. Yes, what you are asking for will be given, but all in good time. The natural order of the universe dictates the natural timing. You are so very keen to have everything now, you may find it difficult to understand why it is that all you wish for has yet to happen. The geomancy card asks you to have patience. Like the butterfly, you need to go through various stages before reaching your true potential. You still have healing to do, is what this is saying. Hidden factors may be at play, like the hidden healing that needs to be completed, right? Relax and allow everything to unfold naturally. Your eyes may be fixed on the outcome, but be sure to enjoy every bit of the journey along the way and always trust the mystery. Incantation is all will work out in good time. When it's right, I receive what's mine. Trust and patience is the key to unlock the doors of mystery. Don't give up. There's no need to rush into anything. The universe is working in the background to bring about your desires. Keep a positive focus. All is in divine order. Maintain trust as you step through the unknown into your destiny. So, in order for you to get to the destiny, the unknown you need to step through is through that healing. Shining a light. You need to shine a light through to get to the other side, right? Baby, look. A wonderful gateway has opened up for you, and you are experiencing mystical occurrences. Do not discount these encounters as mere figments of your imagination. What you are witnessing is very real, so use your natural and psychic gifts to explore the esoteric realms. Allow the images you will see in the sky above and the loving voices you hear to gently guide you. As you become a visionary, you will experience the elation of connecting with the supernatural. Free yourself from worry, find peace of mind through meditation, and journey with your guides and angels. Release control as you float into altered consciousness and defy laws of the physical. So many people aspire to a state of nirvana. You are on your way there. And that came out. That meditation, that peace, it came out, right? That peace and that victory. You will have peace. You will have victory. You just have to heal. And I know it's scary. I know it's scary. I can feel the fear. I can feel, maybe that's what's got me choked up. I can feel the fear. But when you come out on the other side, it's going to be so much better for you. Incantation. A mystical kingdom exists in my mind. I seek the signs in the clouds, and there I shall find a touch and a whisper, the call of my name, as the clouds lift me higher, and there I shall reign. Your imagination is key. What you are experiencing is real. Precise. Practice daily meditation. I don't know why I saw precise there. Practice daily meditation. I have tears in my eyes right now, so that's probably why. You are a spiritual teacher. You have to heal. And now this is me talking. I'm going to try to stop interjecting, but you have to heal in order for you to step into your teacher role. I know it's hard, but anything worth doing, it's got a little oomph on it. It's got a little drag to it. But when you come out on the other side, that oomph and that drag, it's more of an exaltation, is what I'm hearing. You are a spiritual teacher. Your guides are trying to tell you something important. Learn how to tune into the world of spirit. You are a natural psychic. Okay? So I'm going to say it again, y'all. I love y'all. If y'all ain't here today, I love you. All right? I don't know who this is for. I hope it helps. I hope that you find a safe space if you don't already have one. And I'm sending you so much love, so much light, so much understanding if you can't find anywhere you are. And I hope that that holds you over just a little bit so that you can heal what you need to heal and so that you can step fully into your power because you are so powerful. Whoever this is for, you are super powerful. So once you get out of this grief and this blind rage, once you allow yourself to let that go so you can properly heal, the peace, the victory, and all of the greater things that God has for you, the greatest life that God has for you to live, is right on the other side of it. Until next time.